This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Go, Jason Glick.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Not too bad.
All right. Well, it's like this week, though, it's like I come to you people with an agenda. God knows I hate, like, I'm sure, like, what? Yeah, that's funny, John. It's like, yeah, make the Hitler sign.
No. This is a mirror universe sign. It's like a Hitler sign. Big difference. I'm wearing a goatee.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you got the goatee, so I guess I'll have to excuse it.
I'm evil because I have a goatee.
You're evil before the goatee.
Oh, damn it. I'm like Bart Finn in that one episode. Dang it, the good one was locked up in the ceiling this whole time. Go on. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Well, this week, though, it's like I said, I'm going to do an agenda, and I'll get to that point later on. But here, I'm talking about one series, not a lot of you, I'm guessing, might not have heard of. It's called The Summit of the Gods. It's written by Yuna Kurabaku and Jiro Taniguchi.
Okay.
Okay. Now, of the two people I just named, it's like Taniguchi is kind of like, well, I guess it'd be generous to call him a cult figure here, because the man specializes in writing quote unquote manly works. Yes, and people doing manly things like it's like mountaineers coming down to Tokyo and finding out what's happened to the daughters of their friends who have disappeared. It's like hitmen who live in New York and work as artists on the side. It's like no stuff like that. But it's not. But it's like just manly in like a socially acceptable sense, not manly in the Kazuo Koike. I'm gonna go fuck a whole bunch of girls. Save Japan in the process type stuff. Like not too ridiculous. Yes,
I kind of like that last part better.
Oh, in that case, I have some stuff you can read later on, Sebastian.
A little more James Bond.
No, it's like James Bond. James Bond looked at some of like Koike stuff and goes like, no, that's just ridiculous.
Okay.
Exactly. But some of the gods is all about mountain climbing, and it starts off with an interesting high concept about this one report named Fukubachi who stumbles on what could be like the story of the decade for mountain. No, the big story ever for mountain climbing. In fact, he encountered when he's in Nepal on a recon trip for climbing on Everest. He stumbles on a mysterious camera in a shop, and apparently it turns out. Okay, he comes across this mysterious camera in a mountaineer's gear shop. It turns out this might be the camera that George Mallory had when he made his ill-fated climb up Mount Everest in the early part of the century. Problem is, the person who's running the shop recognizes that hey, there might be some extra value in this, so he hires some people to steal it from him. And he only finds a way to get this camera back after this mysterious climber named intervenes to help him get it back. Now it turns out this climber is also to be a big time mountaineer in Japan by the name of Joji Habu. Now, so Fukubachi then decides to go back to Japan and find out the backstory of this guy. Now, and here's where the story really picks up. It's like really digs in. It's basically all about the two different approaches for mountain climbing. Because Habu, he's basically a kind of guy who's not like kind of socially awkward. He's like we get his whole life stories of mountaineering. Like how he started out as a kid, just helping out other mountaineers, making small climbs, and then he's devoting his entire youth to finding new ways to climb mountains. Eventually, making a two-man climb this hill, this mountain called the Demon Slab in Japan in winter, something that no one had ever done before. The Demon Slab, yes, that's how badass this particular mountain was. And the problem is, he just has no idea how to share credit properly, how to interact with people, how to show proper respect. So he's kind of yeah, the guy's got talent, but he's also a huge dick. So he's one side of this equation for mountaineers. Then you've also got this other guy who arrives at the same time, a guy named Tsuneo Hase, who basically is kind of he's more photogenic, more easygoing, and even though he's driven in the same way, he knows how to make this more socially acceptable. And so And so his struggles are contrasted again against Habu's as he like in these first two volumes. Well, basically, let's say, well, Habu is the dark, Hase is the light, the more socially acceptable face of mountain. And naturally, as the way things go, like, well, Habu slowly descends into obscurity. Hase is tragically killed in a mountaineering accident later on. But this all comes back to Fukumachi's quest to find out the true meaning of this, find out if this camera is actually Mallory's, and it's eventually going to lead him back to Nepal, back to Everest, and back to Habu to find out exactly what the story is. Because apparently, it's hinted at that Habu suggested the type of climb that eventually led to Hase's demise. And so you got the whole kind of mystery. He's a guy like Habu, even though he's descended into obscurity, he still has that drive, that kind of that drive to climb the mountain. In fact, he suggested Hase died in trying to climb Everest in a particular fashion, something that no one had ever done before. And so you get the feeling that Habu is going to go and try and do this. And that's what the later volumes are going to focus on. But really, the story, these volumes are a good tale of man versus nature, in the classic sense. It's great. Baku and Taniguchi do a great job of showing you all the time preparations that mountaineers need to make in order to make their climbs. Also, as well as the various dangers that they encounter as well, such as when Habu has to make the fateful choice to cut the line of one of his fellow climbers, who is basically weighing him down after captain's hanging in midair on a climb. Also, in a particularly gripping sequence of events in Volume 2 was when Habu falls himself and basically has to climb back up to where his gear is with a broken arm and broken leg. So he's basically hoisting himself with his good arm and just feeling a knot on his rope with his teeth at the same time. Yeah, it's great. It's great man versus nature stuff, and yet it doesn't get ridiculous. It doesn't get ridiculous in the way that it describes the stuff. You get the feeling that it's perfectly. You can't believe that he did this stuff. He was able to do this stuff in order to survive. So it's fascinating in this regard. The problem is that while the material itself is inherently fascinating, the writer Baku, he's adapting his own novel on this for the series. And the thing is, you get the feeling that he wants to describe everything that goes on here. It's he'll talk. There's lots of dialogue boxes describing the character's feelings as they go on, and especially in a particular sequence in Volume 2 where we're reading Habu's account of his climb, but it comes off as he's hearing about Habu's diary, how he survived during those nights when he only had one when he broke his arm and leg. But it comes off as this is being narrated in real time, which I can't believe that he actually took the time to actually write all this stuff while it was happening. So I'm seeing a vision of my dead partner. Talk to me as I'm on the mountain face here. It's just not believable. And it's the script doesn't make too many errors like that, but it's distracting to the point where you get the feeling that it's good that the material is inherently fascinating, and he still does a good job of talking about the challenges that the mountaineers face, describing all the technical knowledge, which I found interesting.
It reminds me, real quickly, yes, the scripts how they describe in real time. It sounds like the script for the old radio plays from the 30s and 40s, where you'd have characters saying things like, "What's this? A ghost at the foot of my bed?"
That's exactly it.
Because the actors had to describe the action as they were going. This is a completely audio. Now this is different. This is a visual medium. Those were audio mediums, but they had to describe the action in real time as it was happening, and it becomes kind of awkward exposition. Kind of look, what's this? I see, you know,
Yeah,
kind of, yeah, I can understand that.
yeah, and that's the biggest problem I have for these two volumes right here. It's like it's kind of sad though because Taniguchi is a very talented writer in himself. He's done some great man versus nature stories himself in his collection of short stories, The Ice Wanderer. That is well worth your time and highly recommend you to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like I kind of wish that Taniguchi had handled the adaptation himself. But well, you can't get everything. And to be honest, like though, he still does a fantastic job with the art here. I mean, this is a guy who draws everything in his works. I mean, every notch in a rock. It's like every blade of grass. It's like just it's like all the hairs on guys' faces, crevices in buildings. It's fantastic. It's like if you a person who reads stuff for their art, you will want to pick this up just to marvel at the detail he brings to his environments and his characters. It's fantastic work, and certainly a large reason why I like this series as much as I do. But the thing is, like, well, volume 2 ends on a good momentum as the reporter goes back to prepares his efforts to go back to Nepal and track down Habu there and get the full story behind the camera, as well as Habu's supposedly planned mountaineering expedition. Well, you see, here's why agenda comes in, because see, I bought Volume 1 back at Comic-Con in 2009, and I came to Comic-Con in 2010 expecting to get Volume 2 there. Well, I talked to Steven at Fanfare Put It On, company that releases this series, as well as a lot of Taniguchi's other English language works. And apparently he said that, yeah, we're still working on it. I mean, he says that Taniguchi's works eventually sell enough in English to be profitable, but it's always takes a while. He told me that, okay, I'm looking at sometime at the end of October 31st for Volume 2. Volume 2 didn't arrive at in my hands until earlier this week, beginning of last week. So as much as I enjoyed it, I look at this and think, you know what, people, this cannot stand. This is almost let's see, about 17 months since the last volume, and you know what, people, we can do better. This is a great series, even with its flaws, and it's like, and you know, but for it to take this long between volumes, you know, I'd like to. I want to see what's going to happen before I see the second sequel. Before I see the second sequel to Avatar, you know. So we gotta go out there. We gotta go out and buy this stuff now. Like go to Amazon, go to the right stuff. Like order a copy now. It's like more copies you get. I'm sure that once as soon as they see more money they can make off this, it's like faster they'll get these volumes out. Though I will say that I certainly hope this is not the case, but the person who did the adaptation, the translation for this volume, Kumar Subramanian, is also the guy who's doing the translation for Blade of the Immortal now. So I sure as hell hope that it's not a question of his time being that the reason it's not taking it didn't take so long between sequels because between volumes that it's more reason of sales rather than the fact that Kumar needed the time to do Blade of the Immortal, which if that's the case, then yeah, I will choose Blade of the Immortal every single fucking time. So really, but still, it's like like I said, go out, buy a copy, and once you and tell your friends, because once you see this, I'm sure you'll be just as upset as I am that we're only getting like a volume every 17 months. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't want to wait till Comic-Con 2012, 2013 before I get volume 3. Yeah. So like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a very very interesting series. Like I said, very manly, but don't let that distract you. It's not like outrageously manly, but manly in a very charming sense. Like there's not like, yeah, it's guys conquering the unconquerable, not guys go out and fucking a bunch of prostitutes before they go out and do the unconquerable. So like I said, highly recommended, even with its flaws. Go and buy it now. All right, that's all I have for you. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have something just as interesting to talk about with you then.
All right. See you next time.
Laters.